Halloween the game was a big announcement and hyped up the community in a heartbeat. I am looking forward to seeing how this game will play out, and if it can beat out the legendary Dead by Daylight. To me, DBD is the gold standard, but that game is not being referenced as much as it used to be these days. In Halloween the game, you get to meet Michael Myers, a killing machine that just won't die, and should be feared. But there's a concern Michael Myers will be bullied. We see it all the time in Killer Klowns and Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game. Do you think the team up can finally make the killer powerful enough victims will fear him? Even though both Gun and Illfonic have not shown much promise with these games, it's another roller coaster for the asymmetrical horror game world. If you think about it, there's a laundry list of things the community want from an asymmetrical horror game, and yet it's unrealistic to have those expectations. Something will always be lacking in a horror game. The big question is, what would be lacking in Halloween the game? The one thing that Gun and Illfonic may pull off is keeping the game replayable. Everybody raved about Friday 13th the game until a copyright issue came into play and the service was taken offline. But people still play the game even though the server's offline and no more updates will be done to it. A couple of things that are a must for an asymmetrical horror game is a perk system that's designated to that specific character. I believe this is key to making each character feel unique, and playstyles can't be copied from one gamer to the next. Can y'all guess the next important thing to put in an asymmetrical horror game? Executions. The cool execution from T-Sim that Gun came up with was awesome and gory at the same time. I proudly would pay $2.99 for or $4.99, whichever it was. I believe they did a good job, and Illfonic mastered how to implement those type of executions into an asymmetrical horror game, with the example being Killer Klowns from Outer Space by using an execution wheel. I believe execution should be interchanged within the gameplay. Let's not forget that people love DLC and skins for the characters, and I believe Illfonic brings that to the table. Halloween the game sounds like it should be the next big ASM game. A true test of time, and to show that they are very all in on Halloween the game, will be the marketing. Illfonic should definitely be leading in this area. They still market for Killer Klowns from Outer Space that have Steam players in the low double digits, and yet they don't miss a beat. Normally things fall off, and since Halloween the game is newly announced, the game is rolling with posts on Twitter. With the game coming out in 2026, time will tell if they continue to drop posts on Twitter at the same rate they are doing now. I'm expecting it to fall off a little bit, but as long as we hear something, it shows that they are definitely looking forward for the game to be released to us. I wonder if this post on Twitter is a hint at something. If you recall, in Friday 13th the game, Jason could break windows to keep the counselors from jumping through them, or if they do, they will get hurt. This picture right here could be betraying the same thing that Halloween the game may have. Since I got your attention, stab one of those engagement buttons for me. I appreciate it. I want to point out two interesting statements under the Constructing the Ultimate Horror Sandbox from the Halloween the game website. First one is about replayability. The statement reads, replayability is such a critical component to any compelling gameplay loop. We've dedicated extra development time to ensure we deliver a cohesive and endlessly replayable horror game. With what we've seen so far from the asymmetrical horror game genre, it makes you wonder how they're going to approach this. Well, under the same section, it gives some insight on what the hero/victims of the game objective is. It reads, Michael Myers in a standalone single-player story mode are cooperating with friends as the heroes of Haddonfield to rescue innocent residents in asymmetrical multiplayer matches. So, I believe the residents can be killed by Myers, but the heroes, the name speaks for itself, is tasked with stopping that from happening. Now, to pull this off takes a miracle in the sense of making this part of the game worth doing. The NPC residents must play a significant role to make it worth effort to do. When it comes to promoting ASM games and the hype around it, in the beginning, I have seen this song and dance multiple times since diving into the asymmetrical horror world. And I have played enough of these games to get a good sense on how these type of games flow from the announcement of the game to after the game is released into the community hands. NPCs are just not user friendly when it comes to objective gameplay. Switching gears a little bit, it's a good idea that they are implementing a single player game mode. I'm not big on single player aspects in asymmetrical horror games. I tried Evil Dead the game single player and was not a big fan, but this may be worth checking out. It definitely got my interest. I'm not looking for it to be an in-depth story mode, but I am looking for it to be an adjustable difficulty level and implement fun, since you'll be going mostly against NPCs, so Michael Myers should be the star of the show and fun to play. Both Gun and Illfonic do not have luck with asymmetrical horror games when they are doing their own thing apart. Let's see if they are stronger together, since they have experience and a different perspective on making an asymmetrical horror game. Remember to subscribe for more ASM game news and updates. Welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.